Hi, scholars and parents. This is Ms. Palmer. I'm about to do two examples from homework 7.1. So we're estimating sums and differences that start as decimals, but in order to estimate, we have to first round each of the numbers. So I'm going to do number 2 and number 4. If you are still struggling a little bit with this and you need a lot of practice, you should definitely use a place value chart to help you round. So that's what I did first for number 2. I drew my place value chart of my tens, ones, then my decimal point, then tenths, hundredths, ran out of space to write that, but those are the hundredths, and then the thousandths. And then I put each of my numbers onto the place value chart to help me round. So I started with 3 and 492 thousandths and 0 and 89 hundredths. The reason I put them on the place value chart is because then it's very clear where my ones place is. I'm always going to round to the ones place in order to estimate these sums and differences. So I underline the digit that's in the ones place, and then I draw an arrow to the digit behind it. That's the important guy. That's going to tell me if I go up or if I stay the same. Since it's a 4, in this case, I am going to stay the same. I'll show you that in just a second because if you do it my way, you may run out of space. In this case, I underline the digit in the ones place, which is a 0. I draw an arrow to the digit behind this guy. This is greater than 5, so therefore this is going to go up. These digits are totally going to go away. That's the point of rounding, is that everything beyond the ones place, which is what we're rounding to, everything else is going to go away. This is going to stay the same, and this one is going to go up. So it becomes 3 and 1. If you do it my way and you run out of space, you can show your work on a separate piece of paper and just staple it to the back. So I started with 3 and 492 thousandths. I underlined my digit in the ones place, drew an arrow. This 4 tells me that it stays the same, so it becomes a 3. Here, I have 0 and 89 hundredths. I underline the digit in the ones place, draw an arrow. The 8 tells me that this is going to go up, so it becomes 1. It was a subtraction problem. So now I'm doing 3 minus 1 gives me 2 as my final answer. If you are comfortable with rounding and you don't need to use a place value chart, you're a rounding expert, you might say, then you can do it the way I did on number 4. So here I just wrote the problem vertically. It's an addition problem. I have 12 and 3 hundredths plus 1 and 29 hundredths. I wrote it vertically. I underlined the digit in the ones place. That's always going to be the digit immediately to the left of the decimal point. So I underline it, draw an arrow to the digit before it. Since this digit is 4 or less, this is going to stay the same. 12 and 3 hundredths becomes 12 when I round to the ones place. Let's look at the next one. 1 and 29 hundredths. I underline the digit in the ones place, which is immediately to the left of the decimal point. Draw an arrow to the digit behind it. This 2 tells me the 1 is going to stay the same. 2 is less than 5, stays the same. 1 and 29 hundredths becomes 1. This was an addition problem, so I take 12 plus 1, and I get 13 as my final answer. You should be all set. The back is multiplication practice. We went through that briefly yesterday, so if you need a little bit of a refresher about multiplication, you can watch the video for 7.0. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow.